Good morning, everyone. My name is Cassie Cunningham. I serve as one of the co-chairs for the Ohio Association for College Admission Counseling's Professional Development Committee. I'm joined by two of our exec board members, Clarissa and Nina, to talk about Summer Institute. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A feature. At the end of the presentation, we'll get to some of those questions that you might have. So feel free to drop them in the Q&A at any point, and we'll get to those at the end. You can also use the chat feature to send any messages that you need to us as well during the presentation. So I'm going to hand it over to Nina and Clarissa to get started and do some brief introductions, and then you'll see me back towards the end to help field any Q&As.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. As Cass said, my name is Nina. My colleague Clarissa is here as well. We're going to tell you a little bit more about OACAC Summer Institute and why it's a great opportunity for all of you and prospective, potentially new people in your office to join. Just to give you an idea of what to expect through the presentation today, we're going to introduce ourselves so you know a little bit more about us as the co-chairs that will be there during the entire conference and planning it, tell you more about what Summer Institute consists of and what that really is, what it means. We will give you some additional details for the conference, as well as things that make SI different and why it's a really great opportunity and it's more unique compared to some other conferences and professional development opportunities. We will talk about registration details, the cost, what's included in that, and then we'll transfer over to the Q&A portion.
Alrighty. As she mentioned, my name's Clarissa Fielders. I work at Heidelberg University, and I've been in the admission world about 2.5 years. This will be my third Summer Institute. So my first one as an attendee, my second one on the committee, and then my third one as a co-chair.
And my name is Nina Reinbold. I work at the University of Akron. I have 3 years of experience in the higher education field. This will be my fourth Summer Institute. I attended the first time virtually, actually, as an attendee back in 2021. And then I served on the committee for a year, and this is my second year as co-chair. So to tell you a little bit more about what Summer Institute is, we do call it SI. So you might have heard me mention that earlier, SI or Summer Institute. It is a conference that takes place in the summer. It's for new admissions professionals with less than 2 years experience. So for instance, some of you may have been through part of your first recruitment cycle. That might be because you started after Summer Institute began. So this is a great opportunity for our newer folks to the field, whether Summer Institute is their first week in the job or it's their third month in the position. This conference does take place over 3 days in late July every year. This year, it will be July 24th through July 26th, and it will be hosted at Ohio University this year. We do host Summer Institute at different colleges or institutions within the state of Ohio every year. So it's a great opportunity to also travel a little bit and see some more of the state that you'll be recruiting.
So what makes SI a little bit different? So there's a lot of peer networking within that, within other attendees, and you have mentors who are experts in the field, you could say, and presenters come in from different areas as well. So there's a lot of networking pieces that go into SI. Then, as I mentioned, you have mentorship. So you'll have break-off groups, which we'll talk about a little bit later into this, but you kind of get to know them a little bit and they give you advice on what to do and you kind of do Q&As with them. And then there's targeted sessions as well. So you can sign up for different sessions on various different topics. So all of that mixed together is what makes SI a little bit different.
To give you an idea of the general schedule that you can anticipate during your time at Summer Institute, you will see some of these kind of go towards what Clarissa just shared with those different opportunities and what makes it so different. So, our conference kickoff is a great opportunity to start meeting some new people. You will have that mentor session throughout the entire conference each day. You will have a session with your designated mentor group. And that is that opportunity to kind of get more and more one-on-one questions and connect with that person who will kind of help you throughout the process of getting started in the field. We do have multiple session blocks, 6 different ones. So those are those different opportunities to check out different informational sessions. There is a really wide variety and we'll offer a few each session as well. So you can join whichever one you think will be the most helpful for you. One thing that we always recommend is if there's more than one of you from your office, tag team. Maybe you go to one, someone goes to another, and you bring your notes back and share the information that you learned. But also note that we have more of those networking opportunities. So conference socials each night. While we're having our meals, you have the opportunity to sit with new people at lunch and breakfast and dinner. And that's that really great option for you to do that networking and meet the others that are going to be in the field with you.
So here is just a list of some session examples that we've had previously or upcoming. So first one, recruiting at your alma mater. So a lot of people want to attend that if they are recruiting at somewhere that they went to school at. Unlike me, I don't do that, so I wouldn't go to that. Next one, from Road Warrior to Road Warrior. So that's a lot about travel pieces. If you're worrying about travel, if you don't know what to expect about travel, you might attend that. The full service admissions professional, so everything professionally related, which is a lot. So that's kind of a loaded session, but it's a really great one. Welcome to Gen Z. So being able to collaborate and connect with Gen Z, as that's who we recruit. My first college fair. So if you've never been at a college fair, you don't know what to expect, that's a good one. I know there was a session that if you didn't even know how to set up a table, they kind of went through that. So that was an option as well. You're not alone. So engage alumni out on the road. So just incorporating alumni into your travel piece. And then bridging the gap, enhancing DEI efforts in college admissions, which, as we know, is a hot topic and super important. So that would be a big one to attend as well. So that's just some examples of different sessions. Obviously, we're going to have a lot more than that, but that just kind of gives you a sneak peek.
Talking more on that mentorship piece. So, as Clarissa shared, you will have mentors that have experience in the field. So our mentors have 4 or more years of experience working in admissions, and they have also completed a training on how to be a mentor with the SI committee. And then during conference, you'll get assigned designated mentor groups. So we have 2 mentors per group. They're smaller groups, so think 8 to 12 professionals in each group. They will be assigned to you. So your first day, you will learn who your mentors are going to be. So builds a little bit of anticipation on who you can connect with and learn more from. They're going to provide a lot of different insights. So of course, more on the general admissions experience, and they already have the first year experience. They've been through a few years of it, so they can help you with what it's like for your first year. Maybe you're looking at moving forward and, what does it look like when you move up in the higher education world? They're able to share some of those experiences as well. They will touch on things that you'll learn about in your session. So for instance, travel etiquette, your first college fair, high school visits, they will have some information for you about that as well. Tips and tricks, maybe even a little bit of practice. The nice thing is that they are going to be someone who serves as a neutral guide for you. So sometimes we know you might have questions that you don't necessarily want to ask someone within your own office. So it's great to have someone on the outside that's able to give a different perspective that you can go to. Even after the summer institute ends, you can stay in contact with your mentor and connect with them for advice in the future. So it's great to kind of build that relationship at Summer Institute and see it grow afterwards. And of course, one of the important things they will be teaching you about admissions lingo. We know that there's a lot of jargon within the higher education and admissions world that, especially if this is your first job within higher education, it's very confusing sometimes. So hearing things like FAFSA, visit day versus daily visit versus special groups, high school visits, college fairs, there's a lot of different jargon, even just the funnel in terms of prospect versus an inquiry to admit, prospect, or confirm matriculated. There's a lot. So they're there to help you navigate what some of the different language means to kind of make it a smoother transition for you as you come into the field.
So registration details, registration is open. So go hop on that website, oacac.org, and then click on Professional Development, Summer Institute, and you can register right away. We have a pretty good group that's already registered, so get on it whenever you can. The cost is $350 for new professionals, and then obviously become an OACAC member, get involved, get all the updates, all the college fair updates and things like that along the way.
looking at that $350 cost, sometimes if you are the new employee and you're trying to talk to your leadership about why you should attend Summer Institute, or maybe you are the director or the VP and you're looking at, is it worth it for my new professionals to go to Summer Institute? We want to share that the cost of conference does cover almost everything. So yes, it does cover obviously the actual conference itself. So those sessions, your mentor groups. It also does cover the cost of the conference socials that are provided for the networking piece at the evening. But also your lodging is included in that cost. So we do stay in residence halls on campus. We're very excited this year at Ohio University. We are lucky enough to be in shared single style suites. So that means that you'll have your own room. There is a Jack and Jill bathroom that you'll likely share with someone, but you have your own room, which is really great. It's an awesome residence hall. We got to tour it recently. So a really nice newer space as well. And that is included in the cost. You'll note on the registration form that you are able to indicate you don't plan to live on campus during that time frame. We have some attendees that are maybe from the local area and they just plan to drive home at the end of the night if they choose to. We also have some that maybe opt to get a hotel, but please know that there is no discount if you choose not to live on campus. So you'll still have the same fee, which is why we encourage everyone to stay on campus and utilize that resource. And then, of course, your meals. So as you saw on the schedule, we do have dinner the first night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner the second night, and then breakfast and an optional lunch on the last day. And that is also included in your cost. So it really is an all-encompassing cost to have your new professionals attend. So definitely a great highlight if you're looking at why someone should attend Summer Institute.
So in case you haven't noticed by our slides, the theme for Summer Institute this year is throwback to the 90s. So our social events or mini games that we'll have throughout will be themed to the 90s. So it's really fun. Every year we have a different theme. Last year was Vegas, casino night, and things like that. So yeah, is there any questions about Summer Institute or anything that me or Nina have mentioned?
Just as a reminder, please feel free to drop any questions that you have in the Q&A feature. I guess one question that I get a lot is, what should I wear to Summer Institute? What should I pack with me? Do I need a blazer? Do I need to wear business professional?
Great question. It is a casual conference. So especially being in the heat of July, we recognize that sometimes dressing up in dress pants and a blazer is not ideal. And the whole point I would say of Summer Institute is to kind of get to know other people. Yes, you're learning professionally, but you are also kind of making those connections. So please feel free to dress casually. We've had in the past some people choose like jeans or jean shorts, but you can also choose to wear leggings or athletic shorts and t-shirts. So please feel free to dress comfortably.
Yeah, you're going to be walking around in the heat, so please. And then we also send out a packing list as well. So if you're more of a frantic person, you're like, I have no idea where to start with my packing, we got you covered. We'll have a list for you.
Are there usually themes of like dress where I should wear 90s theme one day or school colors or anything like that?
Yeah, so one of our social events, which will be included in the packing list, is a 90s costume contest. So we say go full out. We know the committee members are going to be full out 90s. So we say go for it. Be your extra self with the 90s theme. As far as everything else, I don't think we have any other themes. I mean, we encourage you probably the first day to wear something that has your school on it to kind of connect, or part of the packing list is a lanyard that has your school on it. So then people can identify which school you work at as well.
Are there any unique items that I might need to bring to Summer Institute as compared to other conferences? I know you mentioned there's going to be a packing list, but is there anything I should anticipate bringing that maybe a hotel room wouldn't have?
Yeah, great question. So you will find on the packing list some more unique things. Since we are living in a residence hall while you're at the conference and kind of getting that full college experience, you are going to want to bring things like sheets. So we, of course, have your actual bed and furniture provided, but you will need your bedding. It is going to be just like you're living on campus with a twin XL. So definitely anticipate buying something like that or bringing them. There will be some available upon arrival for a cost that is, I believe, $16 per person for the set. If you will not be purchasing them beforehand, you can purchase them on site. And also things like towels. You'll need bath towels, things like soap. They won't be soap at your sink. So some more unique options for sure.
Do you have any previews for the socials that people might want to might entice them to register?
I will say for the first night, it's going to be a little bit more casual. We're going to do some yard games, just kind of some get to know you, hang out with one another. So think things like cornhole, can jam. But we are anticipating doing more of a 90s block party for the second night. So get excited for that. We are still working to determine what all will be included, but that's something, it's definitely a big highlight.
And what kind of food am I going to eat? Where am I going to eat on campus, or do we eat off campus?
Yeah, so the dining options were going to be in the dining hall. So it's a really nice dining hall. We toured that as well. There's a lot of different options in there. I know there's more options than at Heidelberg University, so that's cool. But yeah, so typical dining hall food. I mean, I think there was a hibachi station, I think, in there, pizza, salads, there was a smoothie station. So very typical dining hall food.
And do you have any advice for anyone on the call that might be interested in going to Summer Institute to try to get some support from their office, or any final advice you'd want to share with supervisors that are kind of considering submitting their, or I guess registering their new professionals for the conference?
Definitely. Of course, like I shared with the cost of attendance, it's very all-inclusive. Really, it's a matter of getting to the conference. So for instance, my office will be sending two of our new professionals, and there are a few of us that will also be attending either as committee members or mentors. And really the only cost is the cost of the rental car, which we can carpool. So that's definitely a big thing from the leadership team side of it, to know that it's definitely more affordable for a conference that really is 3 full days full of new information and training for your new employees. The other thing that I think is definitely a big piece of advice is just knowing that you're going to get some extra things that makes it a little bit easier on some of your team in terms of training. So for instance, if you're coming in with no admissions experience, you might not have any idea what a college fair means. You may have never attended one yourself when you were in high school. High school visits could mean literally nothing to you. Things like drop-offs that you can learn what some of these things are. So when you have your teams, fall travel meetings, these things are already covered. So you understand what everyone's talking about when they're creating their schedules and talking about what college fairs to visit. And it takes a little bit off of the office itself to help teach some of these more admissions basics.
Yeah, and I'd like to add to that too. It is a huge networking opportunity. I know my first I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect for travel, and meeting all of those people at I saw them throughout travel season the entire time. I already knew people when I was on the road, which can be a lonely time. So I talk to them on a daily basis still. They've become my lifelong buddies too. So I think that's something that I encourage all the attendees as well while they're there, is that you will make lifelong friendships at SI. As cheesy as that sounds, it's true.
Great. And if anyone here, either on the call right now live, or anyone who's watching the recording a little bit later, they have questions, what is the best way to get in touch with you two?
Yeah.
How can they reach out?
Great question. So I would give you our emails right now, but it might be hard to remember that. So the easiest way would be to go to OACAC's website. Under professional development, click Summer Institute, and there actually is some additional information about Summer Institute. Of course, the registration is there as well, but our email addresses are listed on the bottom of that page. Any questions you have, please always feel free just to email Clarissa and I. We're happy to answer and figure out the right fit for you, and hopefully encourage you to come join us at Summer Institute. So definitely just check the OACC website.
And lastly, when is the deadline to register? At what point am I not going to be able to register anymore?
Yeah, great question. So registration will close on Friday, July 12th. So that gives you some time. We know some offices, for instance, are looking to register based on their fiscal year, right? We completely understand that's how higher education works. So some people have registered for this fiscal year, some are looking to do it the next, but we also realize that that first week of the new fiscal year is the 4th of July. So you might have people in and out of the office and not have a chance to register. So that second full week of July, you can still register. So please get your registration in by the end of the day on Friday, July 12th. And then we'll be reaching out the following week to all of our registrants with more details, including that packing list.
Awesome. Anything else you would like to share with our live attendees or those who are watching the recording before we wrap up?
I think we're just looking forward to having you to Summer Institute at the end of July.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for this information. It's super helpful as folks are planning their arrival to the wonderful Athens, Ohio. Looking forward to seeing many familiar faces and a lot of new ones at Ohio University. Again, thank you everyone for attending and learning a little bit more about SI. We'll see you at our next virtual webinar, which will be at the beginning of July. So you'll receive a little bit more information about that in the coming weeks. And I hope you have a great rest of the morning.
Thank you.